Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
It is 11:02, and you are live in the Lock Shop. We got a big golf episode today. We delivered that Russell Henley 51 winner last week. Can we run it back again? If you were watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us, sub to the channel if you haven't already. And, of course, if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us at 780-218-9999. All right, we'll get to more of your text messages coming up. Huss is going to join us. We're going to talk about Mitchkov. What a bum. Ruined the streak. Oil Stream will be live at noon today with myself and Tommy Gazzola. That'll lead into EST afternoons from 1 until 3. And then the Reed Wilkins Show today, 3 until 6. We've got Players Championships. We're going to use that 30% boost on a pickup, probably a top 10 or a top 20 or something along those lines. But we'll recap last night in the National Hockey League. Take a look at the slate tonight as well. Big game between the Canucks and the Flames. Sabres are in Detroit. Habs coming off that win last night in Vancouver. They'll roll in to Seattle. Top line was buzzing last night for the Habs. And then the Ducks and Utah tonight. Pretty big game for Utah there, and they're a pretty heavy favorite at home. Pat Gregoire will be by. Patty will be by probably around 11:30, and we can dive into kind of like the unofficial start of golf season. Now, we do have some tournaments that we can use to kind of set up the one that we're heading into, which is always nice as well. But here he is. There's Huss, fresh off a Winnipeg Jets 2-1 home win last night against the Rangers, buddy. Was it a battle of Shesterkin and Hellebuck? Is that what the 2-1 was, or was it just a tight hockey game?
Yeah, more a tight hockey game, to be honest with you. I thought the Jets did a really good job at limiting, for the most part, the Rangers' grade A chances, although they did have a glorious one with the net empty late in the game. But, man, the Winnipeg loves Luke Schenn. Dude shows up, hadn't skated, I think, in like 6 days. 5 hits. 5 block shots, a couple big block shots late in the game when the Rangers are really pushing. And listen, that was a huge win for Winnipeg. Like, I know people think, oh, it's all good. The team's number 1 in the league. Might have remind you what happened at the trade deadline in the Central Division. And the Dallas Stars are coming. The Colorado Avalanche are coming, although interestingly, the Avs tied it up late and lost in a shootout last night to Minnesota. But when you look at the standings, I mean, going into last night, the Jets were 6 points up on Dallas. Dallas had a game in hand, and these two teams play each other on Friday night here in Winnipeg. So, I mean, if they didn't win that game last night, you're basically talking about a 6-point lead, 2 games in hand, and a head-to-head game. I mean, the Winnipeg Jets have to win the Central Division. And I think if you win the Central, you win the West. I don't think anyone especially with Vegas not getting 2 points against Pittsburgh last night, is going to push the winner of the Central. And then, of course, I mean, we assume that Colorado is going to finish ahead of Minnesota. So, you know, if the Jets can win the division, they're going to get Vancouver or Calgary or whoever gets in that 8th spot. Meanwhile, Colorado and Dallas are going to beat the hell out of each other for 2 weeks in the first round of the playoffs. So there's a lot on the line right now, despite the fact that the team is very comfortably pretty much already guaranteed of their spot in the playoffs. And I got to tell you, Dallas, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday, Dallas has been off since Sunday. They don't play again until Friday. Jets are now off until Friday. We've got 3 days to sort of pump this up like a title fight here on Friday night in Winnipeg. But yeah, no, a really nice game last night. Cole Perfetti was the story to me, this Jets second line. The second line. I saw you tweeting about
Perfetti, yeah.
Oh, man, he was phenomenal last night. And we've got a great segment coming up on WST with your boy Kevin Sawyer.
I love that guy.
The difference in Perfetti from 1 year ago to now. Like a year ago, he was in like I think he had like 1 point in 23 games or something like that, and found himself in the press box at times. And right now, despite the fact that they didn't get the big impact center to play in between Ehlers and Perfetti, they're showing that they're ready for it. And the thing about Perfetti, I mean, he's a smaller guy, but he has so much more fight to his game. He's winning battles. He said a few weeks ago, I'm just trying to be more of a prick to play against. And it seems to be working, even though if he's still babyface, he's ready to go. So, yeah, really nice win last night, which took some of the sting off Mitchkoff blowing the streak yesterday.
Take me through the process, because I know you were throwing some things around on Lock Shop yesterday about what you were thinking, and then I saw the tweet come out and I clicked on it immediately and I was like, wow, went Mitchkoff shot. So I know you put a lot of time into this. What else were you considering? Why did Mitchkoff end up winning the day?
There's a few options. Well, to be honest, normally I like to play money lines.
Yeah.
In games. And the one that was would have been a legitimate pick was Ottawa. And they were anywhere, I think they were like 116 when we were doing the show. They went to minus 120 at game time. I was a little spooked by the way they played the night before. The fact of the matter was Linus Ullmark won that game for them. They were playing on the second end of back-to-backs. And you just never really know what you're going to get from Philly. Like a John Tortorella coach team, you might be out of it. They could still come in with their a great performance. So I was a little hesitant to jump on the Ottawa money line. And then I just started digging into some of the numbers. I mean, we saw Mitchkoff here a couple Saturdays ago, and he was really dangerous, scored an unbelievable shootout goal on Connor Hellebuck. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, right now, this is the time. Philly's in a lot of ways playing for next year. This guy is the future. I think he's going to get lots of ice time. And if you go down to, just his game log, he'd gone over 3 in every one but one of his last 5 or 6 games. So it seemed like he was in a bit of a groove. He was shooting it. They just hadn't been going in. And then they didn't go in. He finished -3 last night, and he got a shot. I texted Jake because I had actually sent this to Jake in the afternoon. He's like, wow, I have already bet this. I'm already in on the Mitchkoff shot
before he got it from you.
Yeah. He goes, I have already bet this. So I love it. And then I was texting with Jake and I'm like, okay, it was 7 minutes left. Ottawa had just scored to go up 2. I'm like, okay, maybe this is where we're going to get our miracle. 2-goal lead, put everything at the net. It didn't happen, but it was a great run. We are so it's 1-1 this week after 4-0 and 5-0 weeks. Back on the hopper today, although I will be firing out a plus money players selection for today's play of the day. We're going to go with golf on Wednesdays. And then I spent a lot of time late last night and early this morning going over this players board. Love this tournament. And I love the 30% win boost. That was the biggest decision. Okay, I'm going to be hitting a few outrights. Where do I want to put this 30% win boost on? So I came to a decision. We'll get into that with Patty a little bit later on. But in the meantime, we've got 4 games tonight.
4 games tonight. Yeah.
Calgary, that big missed opportunity for the Canucks last night. Knowing that they were going to be traveling and on the road today in a massive game, you would have felt a heck of a lot better if you're Vancouver, if you were able to get that win last night. But the Flames now go into this evening. I'm just pulling up the wild card standings right now.
It's a massive game between these two teams, just huge.
1 point up on Vancouver with a game in hand. If they're able to win this one in regulation tonight, they'll have a 3-point lead and the game in hand, which would be absolutely massive for the Calgary Flames. And I don't know. The one thing I was a little choked about, because I know we were on Vancouver last night, it wasn't because the game was on the West Coast. It wasn't until after the lock shop we found out that Quinn Hughes wasn't going to be playing last night. And man, we talk a lot about MVPs and, who would be, what these teams would look like without a guy.
Without Quinn Hughes, buddy.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. If you're looking at true MVP, I was talking about Quinn Hughes a month ago for this, but every time they play without him, you're like, my God, Quinn Hughes means everything to this group. It's kidding. He drives the entire thing.
We had a fun conversation after the game last night, and we weren't really talking about MVP or the Hart Trophy or anything like that, but someone just asked me, who would be in worse shape? The Edmonton Oilers without Connor McDavid or the Winnipeg Jets without Connor Hellebuck? And I mean, there's pretty valid arguments on both sides.
I was going to say, I think it's close.
Like, I'm just imagining, okay, what would happen if he just, guy was out for the year? So, like, Edmonton playing the entire season without McDavid, or the Jets starting Eric Comrie or Capo Kakinen in every game of the season.
Is either team a playoff team without those guys?
I mean, I think both teams are good enough that, frankly, they probably would be.
Like, they'd probably be in that wild card conversation right now.
Yeah. They certainly wouldn't be where they are right now. But we didn't come to a clear consensus on it. But it was a fun conversation knowing how important Hellebuck is. And listen, it's a credit to just how good he is that we can have this conversation comparing him to what it would mean if the Edmonton Oilers didn't have Connor McDavid.
Some reaction to this. You can text us at 780-218-9999. Over in the nasty chat, Big Uke says Winnipeg without Helly for sure. P Greggy says it's Helly and it's not even close. John says Winnipeg without Hellebuck. Dreisaitl's been carrying us this year anyway. Matt says it depends who the Jets would get used to replace him. If it's just the backup, it's true. But like from an Oilers perspective, if some of their other guys were going, then I would definitely say, 100% Hellebuck. But this is as much of a two-man team offensively as we may have seen in the McDavid-Draisaitl era. Like, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins might get to 50 points. Hyman had 55 goals last year. He's not on pace for 55 points right now. And then after that, it's Connor Brown at like 22 points. Like, they have nothing else up front this year than McDavid and Draisaitl. And McDavid hasn't lived up to what we expect from him even this year. So if it's this year's version of the Edmonton Oilers, I mean, I don't think they could afford to go without Connor McDavid at all. As good as like Leon Draisaitl has been excellent even through the last month, and the Oilers have sucked. I mean, they need somebody else. It can't just be Leon. It has just been Leon for a month, and they can't win hockey games. So I think it's closer than other people would say, but maybe I'm selling the Jets backup goalie short, Huss. I don't know.
Well, listen,
Eric that team. It's a good team.
Like, it's one thing to ask a backup to, kind of, be Connor Hellebuck. No one's going to be that guy and play that much. While we're talking about this, we can get to the games in a minute. And I'm fired up to get Patty in here and start talking golf.
Yeah.
If you fire up the futures at Coolbet, we actually got updated Hart Trophy odds, funny enough, as we speak about this.
Perfect timing.
And this is actually swung in Draisaitl's favor over the course of the last week and a half. The last time I looked at this, McKinnon was plus 650. Now, that was before his 5-point night. And again, like, I don't know, like, okay, you get 5 points against the San Jose Sharks. Does that all of a sudden make it the MVP? No, but the numbers look a lot better. So I get it that it moves the number. But about a week and a half ago, as I said, the last time I looked at this, Draisaitl was minus 115. Helly was even money, plus 100. And McKinnon was plus 650. It's gotten a little tighter, but the Draisaitl number's gotten bigger. Leon is now minus 149. Hellebuck's gone to plus 150, and McKinnon is plus 450. This is going to be a really, really interesting, and we won't know about this until the end of June when the awards are given out. Obviously, I could sit here and make an argument for Hellebuck. I mean, the Draisaitl one is so interesting in that he plays with Connor McDavid and like on the same team as McDavid. I know Draisaitl's been kind of going about it alone. You've got that great power play, but often, even if guys actually are that, they have to even do more to win an award like that when you have a McDavid on your team. So it's interesting that Draisaitl is getting as much respect for this award that he has, because in a lot of ways, it's sort of an uphill battle to begin with when you have a teammate like Connor McDavid. I mean, a guy that going into the season was the favorite for this award. I'm still sitting on that 25-1 Helly from earlier this year. So obviously I'll be pulling for people to respect the goaltender. But I mean, do you see this as a 2-horse race, or could McKinnon potentially get back into it depending on what happens in these final 16, 17 games.
I mean, in my opinion, it would be a 2-horse race, but I wouldn't be stunned if that McKinnon plus 450 gets a little bit shorter before we get to the final Hart Trophy odds. I can't remember the last time McDavid was 55-1. I cannot recall a time when we saw a 55-1 number next to Connor McDavid, but I do think this comes down to the Draisaitl Hellebuck conversation. It's just gonna be a matter of the guys who are voting on what they value more. I mean, I think Hellebuck has played well enough this year to put himself in that conversation of the goaltenders that just have to be extra special to pull off this award. And I think Helly has done that this year. Do you mind if people outside of the market refer to him as Helly, Huss?
No, of course.
Okay.
That's what everyone calls. Everyone calls him that.
All right, good.
Okay. So the Hart is the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
Yeah, it's a PWHA.
That's the big group. I think. Is it the Vezina that's voted on by the GMs?
Vezina. It's Vezina. That is, yes. Vezina is the general managers, I believe.
Excellent. But listen, just while we're here, here's your. If you want to jump on a few of these futures, the Cup numbers have not changed. We still got Winnipeg at 13, Tampa at plus 1250. Canes, wow, the Canes have gone. The Canes have just kept on drifting. They were 6-1 or plus 650 last week. They then went to 9-1. Now they're at 12-1, along with the Leafs. Caps 11, Vegas and Colorado 10, and then Edmonton plus 650, Dallas 6-1, Florida plus 550. The Norris Trophy, Cale Makar minus 250. Zach Werenski plus 175 and Quinn Hughes 19-1. Like Zach Werenski, if he was doing what he was doing in a place other than Columbus, I'll tell you what, there might be some value on Werenski right now at plus 175, because if the Columbus Blue Jackets make the playoffs, that is going to be a story everyone will be talking about. He has been so far and away their most important player. He's got great numbers. Like Makar's numbers will always be a little bit better strictly offensively, but you can really make the argument that Zach Werenski has been Mr. Everything for Columbus this year. And I think that if they are able to make the playoffs, and they're in a very good spot right now, I think you'll have a lot of people that might lean Werenski over Makar because of a bunch of other things around it. Not that he doesn't deserve it at all. Celebrini's minus 250 for the Calder. Lane Hudson for the Habs plus 350. Mitchkoff 6-1. Dustin Wolf, I think, should have a lower number on this. Like, I'm not sure that he wins considering the three guys we just mentioned, but
I think there's some value on Lane Hudson. Like, he's got as many points as Celebrini, and he's a bloody defenseman. Like, yeah. I'm not 100% sure why Celebrini's such a big favorite there, outside of the fact that first overall pick and everybody's eyes on him, but he's like minus 24. Like Hudson is playing really meaningful games for the Montreal Canadiens right now and is outstanding. Like I think it'd be smart to put a little bit of money on Hudson at that current number. There's no way Hudson should be plus 350 and with Celebrini should be minus 250. I mean, it's got to be closer than that.
Interesting take there. Well, plus 350 if you want to jump on that, if you were rolling with it. Pacific Division, Vegas minus 200, Oilers plus 200, Kings 8-1. Central, that hasn't changed. The Jets still minus 294, Dallas 2-1, Colorado 50-1. And then here's the Atlantic. See how Patty's feeling about the Leafs right now post deadline. Florida's minus 200, plus 275 for the Leafs, Lightning 5-1, and the Ottawa Senators 20-1. Barkov's runaway favorite for the Selke, minus 550.
Not even close. Yeah, jeez.
Oh, that, you know what's weird? The number 2 guy on this list is his teammate, Sam Reinhart.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that Sam Reinhart would have been up there for the for that trophy. Hischier, Draisaitl for the Selke. Is that a surprise to you?
No, a lot of people here call, like, Draisaitl's played really well two-way hockey this year. He's also had like a couple of the worst back checks I've ever seen, but those used to happen all the time and they don't anymore. Like, he's become a pretty good two-way center. So I'm not. I mean, it's 20 to. Isn't he 20-1? Like he's not going to win it, but I think he deserves to be in that top 5 to 7 conversation.
Like I'm just looking like Marner, Seth Jarvis, Sorelli, Kopitar at 100-1. There's a guy that is just so overlooked. People think, oh, he's old. He is still so damn good. I mean, he's basically been the best player on the LA Kings for 15 years.
Yeah. And it's, you know what? The funny thing with Kopitar is like we have this hockey league, the Juan Rincon Hockey League. And I swear to God, every champion for like the last 8 years has traded for Kopitar at some point in the season because he'll just give you 70 to 80 points. And then you get to the offseason and you only can keep 12 guys. And it's always like, probably not going to keep Kopitar. So then you trade him with somebody else to keep him. And then that guy next year moves him for a bunch of picks because you're just like, yeah, Kopitar, he's never going to be like a 90 to 100 point guy, but he's giving you 70 every year for like 15 bloody years.
He was right at the top of my list. You know, when the NHL was doing those, the best of the first quarter of the century.
Yeah.
Like kind of 2000 to 25. He's right there at the top. I mean, that's basically been his career. I mean, not a full 25 years. But yeah, lots of love for Kopitar there. So anyways, latest odds are up there. You got Hart, Norris, Calder. The Vezina is no longer even on the board for obvious reasons.
Rocket Richard's off the board too. Leon's running away with it.
Yeah, that one's over. That one is definitely over. Listen, before we get to golf, what do we like?
I have 4 games tonight. Let me give you the goalies, and we'll bang this out here quickly. I absolutely love the Flames tonight. Mrazek, who was acquired at the deadline for some reason. Mrazek will start for the Red Wings. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, unconfirmed for the Buffalo Sabres. He was outstanding against the Edmonton Oilers a few nights ago. Dustin Wolf is confirmed for the Flames. Sheloff listed as unconfirmed for the Canucks. Vamelka will go for the Utah Hockey Club. You would expect Dostal for the Anaheim Ducks. And then Dobis for the Canadians. Grubauer unconfirmed at this point for the Seattle Kraken. So what do you like here, Huss? We got 4 games to pick from. Let's put something together.
I'm with you. I love the Flames in this game. I think this is a real tough spot for Vancouver. And I mean, they couldn't afford to lose that game to Montreal last night. I mean, the Buffalo-Detroit game is interesting. Buffalo is done. Detroit is far from it. But man, with what they've done, they've lost 6 games in a row.
6 in a row, man. 6 in a row.
And they find themselves below Boston, below the Rangers, and below the Canadiens. Now, they do have 2 games in hand over Boston and New York. And they're 2 points back of Montreal. So, I mean, they are still in that mix. But again, they're 4 points back of Columbus and now 7 back of Ottawa. After that Ottawa win last night, the Sens are hot at the right time. They won 4 in a row. This basically is their season. If they lose at home to the Buffalo Sabres tonight and make it a 7 losses in a row, I don't see how they recover from it. Just based on all the other teams around. So I don't know. The Yzer plan hasn't been going very well. Todd McClellan has come in. They had that nice winning streak. They have to find a way to win this game. And if there's one team you should never trust is the Buffalo Sabres. So Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I mean, maybe if he plays the way he did against Edmonton, they do get the win. But I've got a hard time not looking at those 2 minus 147.
Yeah, Detroit and Calgary have to be on the parlay. You're right. We just have to decide if we're going Utah or I don't hate the Habs. Their top line last night was absolutely terrific. I mean, if they can keep buzzing against Colorado, you can get a much better number at plus 125. The Ducks last night got absolutely pumped. I don't see that as a team that at this point in the season, it's like, God, we got to bounce back now. And it's a huge game for Utah tonight. The problem is if we go Utah, Calgary, Detroit, it's the plus 274 number, which the Boosts will get it over 3-1, but it's a late night.
What about the Utah puck line?
Minus 109. That would bring us to plus 431. I mean, I don't hate
it.
it. I want a piece of Utah somehow, and that would give us a much better number. Utah has points in 7 of their last 9, buddy, but they've lost their last 2. So they got to be hungry for a win here as well.
Yeah, they lost in a shootout to the Leafs.
Yeah.
They were pretty good. They showed quite a bit. You know what? Let's do it. This is a perfect opportunity to jump on a team that is desperate. And, and then you look at what happened last night. I mean, the Ducks basically are in next year territory right now. They gave up 7 last night. They've got to travel after the game to Utah. Let's go with the puck line. Let's get a little aggressive on this one. We like the first 2. And this Wings-Calgary game, the Calgary game keeps on going between 147 and minus 154. I don't think it's going back towards Vancouver. So we throw those 2 in along with the puck line. Yeah, we're plus 431. We'll get it close to 5-1 with the boost.
Okay, there we go. Lock it in. That's your NHL parlay tonight. We've got some time to talk some golf here with Patty, which is good.
Oh,
I
yes,
mean, this is an exciting event. We're going to give you our best play for the 30% profit boost as well. Let's bring in old P Greggy here for the Players Championship. What's up, buddy?
It is officially golf season. The Players is the unofficial start to PGA Tour season for the casuals. We've been diving in before that. It's the 5th major, they call it. This is by far the best field that we'll probably see up until the Masters. And when you look at a lot of the other tournaments, this might be the best non-major field that we have all season long. So I'm super stoked for it. There's some intriguing numbers out there. And like you mentioned, guys, we got to use our 30% big swing profit boost here, which makes things a lot more interesting.
I went through, Patty, you'll love this. So I was so excited about this 30% profit boost for this tournament. I spent at least an hour with I kind of knew the guys that I was going to be betting. And I kept on putting in different amounts, adding the profit boost, seeing what it looked like, then doing the same thing with other guys. Like, you got some serious options because, again, this is not just on an outright. If you want to put it on an outright, you can, but you can go to one of the groups. You can go to, obviously, it'll be a little different if you're betting a guy at 3-1 with a 30% profit boost as opposed to 28-1. It's a little different, but there's many different ways that you can skin this cat. I ended up taking a swing on an outright for it just because I've got a few guys on outrights and I want to max this sucker out for the first tournament of the year. But it's a great promo. I was talking to some of the fellas last night at the hockey game as they were talking about a golf pool. I'm mentioning, hey, boys, you better get your picks in a Coolbet. 30% profit boost. They're like, what? I'm like, damn straight, up to $100. So I do have a selection that will have a bonus $100, and if it comes in, I'll be very happy. And I have a feeling, based on the guy that I picked, a few of you guys might be happy as well. What? How's your preparation been going for this tourney? I know you've been locked in for a while, and again, Dusty, Russell Henley last week, 50-1.
Yeah. Who's on Henley this week?
My turn this week to get a winner.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny. This is just the kind of the way that one is the beauty of golf betting. Like it's usually smaller units. You have 3-4 guys. You feel like you're in the mix, unless all your guys end up not doing well, but like you're in the mix longer. It's a longer investment rather than just a money line bet for a game. And it's not quite as long as a future bet when you hammer a team to win the Super Bowl or pick someone to win the Art Ross. Like you get the thrill of that future bet, but it's over just a weekend or maybe a couple weekends if you're looking at the Masters or whatever it may be. But yeah, Russell Henley. I've been riding him so much this year, and he's come up so close. This is the golf gods, though. This is what, as awesome as everything I said about golf betting, the other side of it is if you hop off on a guy and they win, you feel bad. Luckily, though, although it's not one of my winners, it doesn't count as a win in the lock shop. When you took him, Dusty, I had to ride with you because I had this feeling if he's not going to win, or if I don't bet him here, Dusty bets him, he's going to win. And that's exactly what happened.
That's why I think I mentioned last week, I was like, you've been on him, but I mean, I'm getting on Henley this week. And man, that was nice. That was good. Hopefully some people were riding with us on that.
I think they were. And I think he's been sniffing around it for a really long time. You laid out some great things about him. And I've been talking about how close he has been. And maybe this is where he now turns into the upper echelon. Like when talking with a lot of folks around the industry and seeing their picks, the way too early picks for the Ryder Cup, a lot of people have him on their team. A lot of people have him on that Ryder Cup team. And I think he is going to be there unless he falls off a cliff here. But he's been showing more signs that he's not a flash in the pan. Like this is a guy that's going to stick around. And he's got that one victory now. First one in a little while. Maybe he goes on a heater here.
It's so funny you mentioned Ryder Cup because, and I don't know what it is, whether it's just his name or what, I, for a long time, thought Russell Henley was an Aussie.
Really?
I have no idea. Like I have known recently, but you just bring that up. For like the first 2 years on tour, I don't know. He just Russell Henley. It sounds a little Aussie. I was wrong on that.
From Macon, Georgia, Australia, maybe we'll say, but maybe it was the what he used to have
territory.
He used to have a little bit of like a blonde, longer flow to him. He's definitely keeping a little higher and tighter with age, but guys, I think maybe where we start here. I don't know if we want to tell of like if we're going to give out our picks and say where we give out our.
I think we give our picks and then after we do the 30% boost.
Okay,
Let's do that. You got Hush? You good with that? I think we do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right, let's go with that. I just, it's been a while since I've kind of given the rundown of what to expect from the golf course or the tournament. I think that this is a good one here because this is, again, TPC Sawgrass is one of the best, one of the most iconic. The key indicators that you got to look at here, as always, stroke gain approach is super important. Good drive percentage, driving accuracy, strokes gained at Pete Dye courses. Is something that I really looked at. A lot of these golfers that play well at Pete Dye courses will play well here at another Pete Dye. Strokes gained, ball striking as well. And the one thing that has really come into play here is recent form. Although this is such a volatile golf course, you can put a ball in the water a couple of times here and your day is ruined. Talk about the Island Green. That's one there. We have seen so many people's weekends ruined or possibility to even get to the weekend ruined based off just one bad swing. The one crazy thing is we've never seen a back-to-back winner until last year. Scotty Scheffler became the first guy to win in back-to-back years. So that kind of goes to show you the volatility. But when you look at some of the past winners, guys, it's the top dogs. It's Scotty Scheffler twice. Cam Smith before he packed his bags and went to live. Justin Thomas back in 21 when he was a top echelon player. 2019, Rory McIlroy. 2018, Webb Simpson. 2017, Siwoo Kim. So maybe those ones a little bit more random, although Webb Simpson was playing really good golf back then. And then in 16, Jason Day, and 15, Ricky Fowler. So with that being said, looking close up top to the board, and I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa, 12-1 to win the Players' Championship. I'm running back with him. I didn't have him last week, but he was right in the mix. Finished T2 last week, or sorry, I should say solo 2 last week, which now he has finished inside the top 5 9 times since his last victory on tour in 2024 of the fall. This guy is so unbelievably due for a win. I've said it so many times that you could argue this is the most consistent golfer on tour for the last 16 to 18 months. He has been so good. He fits this course so well. He's unbelievably accurate off the tee. That's one of his big knocks is he doesn't hammer the ball quite as well as some of the big boys on tour. You know what he does do? He keeps the ball in the fairway. He does not miss fairways. His driving accuracy is, it's the best, one of the best in the field. I think it's second on the entire tour. His strokes gained tee to green. He leads the field by a wide margin here. So the fact that we're getting good form from Colin, he's played well here before, and just the match goes really well. Like, this guy plays so well at Pete Dye courses. For him at 12-1, I really, really like the number, but that's where I wanted to start my card there. Surprise, surprise, Ludwig Aberg. I'm going with Oberg again. The number on him has moved significantly. He was at 18-1 to start the week. I think he's now down to 16-1.
He was at 14. He was at 14 for the last, like, he was 18. It went to 14 right away. And it was at 14 an hour ago, Patty. I should just quickly mention, just because I've been staring at these odds for about the last 24 hours. Aberg has just moved from 14 to 16. Morikawa was 12. He's now 14.
Oh God, I missed out on that.
And Rory opened at plus 750. He's 14-1 right now.
What? He went from plus 750 to 14-1?
Over the course of the last, like, I don't know if that was just a singular move. Pat, you might be able to look that up. But Scotty just went from 4 to plus 550. Like this board just moved quite a bit. What was Henley originally?
I don't have Henley 28? Written down. No spoilers, but I don't have on my betting card this week.
28 as well.
Probably.
He's 33. Pat Cantlay was 22. He's 40-1 right now. Like, I cannot remember a board moving like this, like with some.
Well, I mean, I'll do you like. I'm just looking at it as well, and I was going over this around 9:20 this morning, so 2 hours ago, and just the things that popped off the page for me here. Shane Lowry was 28-1 at 9:30 this morning. He's now 40-1. And then the other one is Sepp Straka was 50-1 yesterday. He was 45-1 at 9:30, and he's 40-1 right now.
Yeah,
so that's
going the other way.
That guy's going the other way, which I'm on him. Spoiler alert. I've been all around him the last few weeks, but yeah, I mean, you're right, Huss. This is kind of crazy action here.
To be quite honest, fellas, I know Coolbet usually does have the best offerings or close to the best offerings on a lot of these futures. I think what this was here was that some of the other books have made some adjustments, and this is just Coolbet making sure that we're staying up with all the trends that are happening around. Because I just took a quick peek, and yeah, that's it's remarkable to see the odds change that significantly. So that's exactly what's going on here. It's some of the other books have changed pricing now. I don't know what the reasoning is, but that's what we're looking at now. So if you haven't placed your golf bets, this is the time to do it now. Like I said, I missed out. I did have Morikawa at 12-1. I probably will do a little top up here and get him at a better price as well. I did get Aberg in earlier in the week though at 18-1. I usually try to make my first couple of bets on Monday morning when the odds first come out, because again, like I said, there is always ever changing with heavy money comes in. That's when the sharp bettors usually come out to play. That's when the sharks are sniffing around Monday morning, trying to pounce on some of those early lines. So that's where then you'll see, okay, we got sharp money coming on this guy. Things get moved around. So a little peek behind the curtain there, just Coolbet trying to keep up with the rest of, not just keep up, but offer better odds on some of these outright bets to make sure that we live up to our word of having some of the best odds in the industry.
I cannot believe this. Wyndham Clark, who, spoiler alert, I will be seeing a sprinkle on my card. This morning, he was 40-1. He is now 80.
That's wild. That is actually wild.
Well, needless to say, I'm going to need to top that one up. I won't be able to deliver it myself.
Patty, you gave us two guys. Who's your third guy?
I just want one quick note though, guys, that there is not like, okay, hey, Coolbet's trying to match the odds here. I'm looking at another unnamed sports book right now just to compare odds.
Yeah.
You said Wyndham 80?
Yeah.
65 to 1 on that other book there. So by far the best price if you're on WinDC, you can get them there. Yeah, you mentioned, okay, already the two other guys that I picked. I've got two more guys.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm back on him. I took a break from him. I'm back on him. Tommy Ladd, 28 to 1. The numbers probably changed since I put that there, but
28.
It's still 28. See, okay, so there's something there. He was 28 earlier this morning. He hasn't moved. That probably means that there's some steam on him for good reason, though. He fits the profile here, and he's in great form. In his last 7 starts, he's finished inside the top 5 once and inside the top 10 twice. He's only missed the cut one time at this place. Like, he plays here really well. And in his recent form, he's finished top 5 in last 2 of his 5 tournaments. So, when you look at his numbers, the stroke gain numbers are good. 10th in strokes gained on tour, 4th in approach to green, 4th to tee to green. So I like Tommy Ladd here to finally win in North America. I took a break from him. We're back on good terms. I'm riding Tommy Ladd to finally get that big win here. The other one I'm going with, he is in our good books because he cashed a top 20 for us, and it was an absolute grind. Sepp Straka. I know there's a lot of steam coming in on this guy here, and this course fits him so unbelievably well, guys. 10th in true strokes, tee to green, 7th on approach, 7th in driver accuracy in this entire field. He finished inside the top 20 last week, cashed that bet for us, and it was a grind for him, man. Like, it was a grind. He blew up. I think it was on Saturday. And he
finished T5.
Yeah, he found a way to get back in.
Yeah.
And he's had some great success here as well. Solo 16 last year, and then back in 22, finished solo 9. So I really like him here. He won, what was it, at the Amex? Since then, 3 top 10 finishes, a top 5 finish, and only missed the cut once over that stretch.
I mean, reality here is nobody's playing better than him right now.
Yeah,
like
100%.
from a results basis, like nobody's played better.
Nope,
so,
I agree.
I love the Sepp Straka pick. I'm on him. He got it done for the top 20 last week.
Plus 145 T20. He is T20'd in 4 of his last 5 tourneys.
Yeah, he's the guy who was 50 to 1 and now 45 and now 40. So he's the one who's moving significantly the other way. So,
boys, the top 20s though, quickly, like, we have been on fire. Jason Day at the Farmers, cash. Taylor Pendrith, Pebble Beach, cash. Mav McNeely, Phoenix Open, cash. We went back to Taylor Pendrith at the Genesis. That didn't cash. Potager at the Mexico Open, that cash. Russ Henley at the Cognizant, that cashed. And then last week, Sepp Straka at the Arnold Palmer, cashed. We are on a top 20 heater for our solo bets here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think wouldn't be surprised if we all have a little sprinkle on Sepp at plus 145 to top 20. You guys want me to roll through?
Yeah, give us your guys here. Yeah.
All right, top of my card. I mean, you know what? And who knows? Maybe I would have looked at this a little differently if the numbers were what they are right now. I can't wrap my head around the fact that Rory is now 14 to 1 after opening at plus 750. And I mean, listen, at plus 550, it's still too short for me for Scotty Scheffler, but if you're looking to just maybe make one bet, it's a lot more attractive at plus 550 and use that 30% win boost with where Scheffler's at right now than some of those others. But Patty, you laid it out. Ludwig Oberg, didn't mind him at 14 to 1. Love him at 16 to 1. He's where I'm starting the list. You know, I'm looking like who can go toe-to-toe with Scotty Scheffler and Rory right now. And the list is pretty short. Ludwig Aberg is at the top of that list right now. Now he's played this event before. I mean, he was a debutant last year and finished 8th at 14 under. To me, he's the total package. He's going to win this event. He's going to win every event probably at some point. So I love Ludwig. That's where I started things off. The other guy, and again, this is a even better number right now. I did not want to be that guy that was on a guy gets off just before they win. And I know that last week was a really brutal last 27 holes for Justin Thomas. So much of that was his putter. He lost, I think, 5 shots putting in the final round, but he was more than 4 shots gained tee to green. He's won this event before. He's been there. He knows the course. He'll be focusing in on the putting. That is a little more random, but JT has the game. It feels like this year he's been ready to sort of break out and reemerge as one of the top dogs in the game. This would be the perfect place to do it. And dude is a big money player as well. We know the size of the check awaiting for the winner of the Players. So I do like Justin Thomas. And the fact that he's gone to 28-1 means I will be topping that one up as well. Other picks in for it. Oberg was my favorite. JT. And then I had a couple smaller ones. Well, put it this way. While we lotted, I couldn't bet Shane Lowry fast enough at 40-1. I had a little piece of him at 28. But at 40, Dusty, we've talked about Shane Lowry. I mean, when you
I've got notes on him right here. He's one of my guys. If you want me to dive into it,
well, you know what? I'll save it for you. You can run it down. But he's been great as of late. Was really, really good on the weekend. Recent form, knows this course well. Was I believe top 20 in this event? Yeah, he was T19 last year for this event. So certainly capable of doing it. And then a couple of longer shots. As I said, Wyndham Clark at 80-1 now. Like, Wyndham was second last year to Scotty and probably wins that event in most other years if Scheffler wasn't Schefflering. He's a major champion and he's been pretty darn consistent so far this year. So, I mean, that's a number. To me, he's an elite player and can hang with those guys at 80-1. He is at what's Mav McNeely at right now? Has that number changed? That was 50.
80. I might have to get on that. Mav
McNeely's another player that has been playing really well. He's won and has had some success here at TPC Sawgrass before. Was tied for 9th last year. So Mav and Wyndham at 80. I mean, that's sort of, those are the longer shot darts. But I can't believe the numbers are where they are right now, considering where they started. But some pretty wild value on those outrights right now with the latest shakeup on the odds board.
Let me bang through mine, and then we'll get to our 30% boost, and we'll build this parlay. It's going to be quick because you guys have kind of touched. Colin Morikawa, it was 12-1 when I got him. I mean, I'm with you, Patty, on that one. 2 runner-ups already in 2025. Tops on the tour in strokes gained tee to green. Hasn't won in 11 months. He's 100% due, and he's playing very well. So
ever since he got married.
Yeah, oh boy. Maybe he just doesn't get a chance to golf with his buddies as much. Jeez.
I don't know.
So yeah, Colin Morikawa. I had Shane Lowry this morning at 28-1. He's 4 for 4 here, 3 top 20 since since 2021. So he's been right there 3 times in the last 4 years. And at these last couple events, he's been awesome and had one hiccup round and still managed to, find himself in that top 15, top 20 area. So I like Shane Lowry. I liked him at 28. You mentioned he's 40 now. So, hey, Sepp Straka was my other guy. A big time Sepp Straka stand. Started a little bit last year as well. And over his last 24 rounds, 3rd in strokes gained approach, 3rd in strokes gained ball striking, and 8th in par 5 scoring average. He's got a win in 4 of the top 15s. Like in his past 6 starts, he's got a win in 4 top 15s. It's ridiculous how well he's been playing. So I'm on Straka. So Morikawa, Lowry, Straka, and then just a little bit further down, and this number moved from 50-1 today to 66. And that's Daniel Berger. Berger in his last 3, T25, T2, and T9. T2, 12th, and T25 in his last 3. The last time he played here, he was T9, but it was like 3 years ago. So he hasn't been here in a little while, but the last time he was here, had a little taste of success and has been really good recently in his last 3 outings. So that was at 50-1 this morning. It's now at 66-1. So Morikawa, Lowry, Straka, and Daniel Berger. I don't know if you guys are going to be here too, but my 30% profit boost was Sepp Straka, top 20, plus 145. I almost did it on the top 10 because it was plus 300. But I was like, you know what? I'm getting the boost. Let's go to plus 145. So that's where I decided to put my 30% profit boost. You just go click on promotions. You can read through it there, and then click bet now if you want. Slide on over. You make a bet that is eligible. It'll pop right up. Just says apply boost, and you can hit it right there. Easy as that. So I went Sepp Straka top 20 for my boost. What did you guys do?
Hustle, you can go first, buddy.
Well, I was going back and forth on a bunch of options, but I decided to take a swing.
Oh, of course. I love it.
I'm putting it on an outright. I went through all of my different outrights. And again, these were at the previous odds. And by my calculations, and this is why I'm not that upset that he's now moved to 16, was to just slam it on Ludwig Oberg. If you bet $25, which is what I did, at 14-1, it was plus 375. The 30% gets you right to that threshold for the $100. I mean, I could have played it on some other guys, but I mean, the max bonus is 100. So I figured I'm going to put it on, in my opinion, my guy that's most likely to win and not leave anything on the table with the amount that I bet. So the Ludwig essentially goes from 14-1 to 18-1 with that bet. If you're going to do it now, it's basically going to take you from 16-1 to 20-1 with the new number on Ludwig. I had thought about a couple of others. I have a couple other Ludwig props, and one that I'm going to be giving out for the play of the day later today on to start a new streak. But you know what? You can't go wrong. This is the opportunity for free money, which you love. Let's max it out and try and get a big win with the Swede at the Players.
I don't hate that strategy. Listen, I think a good strategy going forward would just be bet Scotty Scheffler and get an extra 30% on it.
Yeah.
But what are the chances that Scotty can win this tournament 3 in a row? No one's ever done 2 in a row until he did it. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be this guy. So I did decide to stay away because I feel like throughout this year, that's going to be one of my strategies multiple times, I think, is just bet Scotty, get 30% on your win. You mentioned that top 20, Straka. I was very close. I went with a different Straka or a different top 20 bet. I'm actually pretty pleased about it because both you guys are on this guy to win. And that's Lowry, top 20. If you bet $50 for him to finish in that top 20 at plus 170, you get an extra $25.50 on top of your win. So I feel even better that you guys are in on him, not just to finish inside the top 20, but to win this damn thing. So I feel really good about my big swing profit boost.
I think this parlay comes together rather easily today. I mean, you guys are crossover on guys. Patty and I are crossed over on guys. Huss and I are crossed over on guys. I just have lost track of who we've crossed over on. So who are we looking at here?
Okay, let's pull it up. So there's a couple of Strakas.
Yeah.
Top 20. And I mean, I didn't bet him, but I certainly can't go against it. I mean, he's just been doing that pretty much every single tourney. And then we've got, Shane Lowry at plus 170. I mean, Patty just threw it in there. We're both on him. I mean, I expect Shane to be there. So a plus 170, a plus 145.
You could throw Aberg in there. You guys both have him.
I think Aberg's got to be
numbers
there
already, right? So if we throw Aberg in there, then that's going to be pretty decent.
We could do Morikawa. We also, Dusty, you and I are on.
I'm fine with either of those two guys.
I'm personally partial to Oberg, obviously, not being in. Do any of you guys have Oberg?
I've got Oberg.
You guys both got him.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go Oberg and then Lowry and Straka.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. Easy
enough.
I
love it.
Easy enough.
Let's do that.
Love that. So it helps me out. I didn't build my Greggy's golf special because I just had a feeling, guys, that we were going to be in on a lot of the guys, but this now allows me to maybe get a little more creative and put something together. So, guys, I'm so fired up for this tourney. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I think the 30% profit boost makes things a little more exciting. But we're in the thick of this, guys. We got the players coming up this week, a couple other big tourneys, and then next thing you know, we're a month away from the Masters,
right around the corner. Right around the corner.
Do we want to very quickly everyone pick a matchup and do a 3 matchup parlay for Thursday?
100%.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it super quick here. Who do we got? I was already looking at this earlier on.
You go first, us.
Rory versus Scheffler. I see. That is interesting. Where is...
Man, they got Batia and Tom Kim head to head here, right? This is these are your guys. Those are your 2 guys.
Where's Michael Kim?
Was that a different Kim?
Great later.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take Shane Lowry minus 133 over Vic Hovland.
Okay. You know what? I'll roll Corey Connors minus 141 over Lucas Glover.
Okay.
I like that one there a lot. I'm going to take, that was actually one of my options. Instead, I will go, where is he? I just saw him. Where did he go? The Gim Reaper, minus 189. It's a big number, but we're making it a parlay over Ryan Fox. Ryan Fox smashes the ball off the tee, but he can't keep it straight to save his life. The Gim Reaper is knocking at his door. Give me the Gim Reaper.
All right, there we go. Put that together. That'll be available in the combo cards over at Coolbet as well. All right, Winnipeg Sports Talk starts in 2 minutes. We got the oil stream starting in 2 minutes over here on EST as well. Get in your Players Championship plays today. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube and you missed some of it, just scroll on back. You can track it down there. Thank you very much for joining us on Lock Shop today. Best of luck tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow.